welcome to a very chilly start to my morning. I'm in Derbyshire and today I'm going to be shooting a waterfall. Now this waterfall is situated at Three Shires Head, and if you've seen any of my other work, the drone video and Easy Walk, then you'll know that I've been to Three Shires Head quite a few times, and it's magnificent. It's got an absolutely iconic setting in the English countryside. I've never really talked about photographing Three Shires Head. It's always been about the walks and how it looks. So today I'm hoping just to show you what I do when I'm photographing a waterfall. And there's some challenging conditions as well. First of all, not a cloud in the sky, and there's likely not to be. So that presents issues in itself. I'm here before the sun rises, but there's no sunrise shot to be gathered down there. It's in a valley and completely blocks out sunrise. So there's nothing to be gained from being here that early, other than I can set everything up, and that is not a bad thing. But there's also another thing I can do, and that's wander around the area. So although I know down there quite well, I don't really know the area. So I thought, you know what, I've got an hour, I'm going to investigate and have a wander, which is what I've done. And lo and behold, found a composition. Now, the first thing about this composition that I found is that it suffers from the same problem that I'm going to have down there. Not a cloud in the sky, very dull, uninteresting sky. But it's worth taking the shot because it'll remind me of what's up here. And of course, I could always just cheat the sky. Why not? Now, because I want to kind of rush down to the waterfall, I'm only breaking out the Canon M50 for this. So this is the small boy, not the 50 megapixel job. And it's because it's quick to set up. It's got really good sensor on it for this kind of thing. But even though this is just let's say a reminder shot, a memento, I still want it to look good because I want to test it out in Lightroom and see what I can do compositionally with that. I'm not going to go through the settings. It's just a fairly straightforward snap. I'm not even manually focusing, going to let the Canon do the job. It does it pretty well, to be honest. And there we go. And I'll throw this up onto the screen anyway, just so you can see what I saw, and then maybe you can see what I'm hoping to capture. But I will point out that the break in the wall and this wall that goes around is what drew me to this particular scene. So here I am at the falls, and there it is. There's your iconic shot. The pack horse bridge going over there, looking absolutely wonderful. And also, as an added bonus, you get the other waterfall just behind me there. The water's not as angry as I'd kind of hoped it would be. At first I thought, you know, it'd be absolutely gushing because we've had quite a bit of rain, but it's not a problem. This place always delivers. But it's not about this place, this is about the compositions today. I think I've waxed lyrical about it in my Easy Walk video, and of course there's drone footage too. Instead, what I'm looking at today is what kind of shots can I get from it. So there's the big deal. That's your bridge, your split waterfalls there, gives it a lovely bit of character. An empty sky, which we'll come on to in a bit. And then as we move down, we get some fast flowing water here. A great drop there, significant drop. Moves further down, and then it's off as it once again becomes the River Dane. And this is another, you know, sort of added bonus. This is a great little flow of water, but I don't think it gets much attention. The water's not particularly clear. It is quite a narrow, almost like a spout of water, but you do have that pretty bridge behind it. And today, you know, we've got the trees. They don't have any leaves, unfortunately, so it's going to be tough to kind of texturize that background, but we might be able to do something with it. Yeah, I think there's a shot to be had there. And of course, the other thing you can do, and I'm just going to make my way over to it now, you have the option of taking this shot, which is both falls in full view, and you know, what's not to like there, other than that bloody empty sky. Now straight away, you can see that that's really nice. Both falls in shots, really good. But that V of wide open, empty sky causing problems. Just get that back up. Okay, hopefully you can see straight away that whilst that is, well, it's got the makings of a beautiful shot, that V of wide open, bright sky is going to cause problems. And even as the sun comes up, changes the colours. It's not going to get any better. In fact, if anything, it's going to get brighter. So we've got to fix that. So I've come up high just to get everything in and to be able to look down a little bit more to see if maybe I could get enough elevation to make the composition work, cutting out the majority of the sky. I think that's doable, but you do end up with a lot of foreground. And one of the beauties of a 50 megapixel camera is that I can crop a lot of that out without actually causing too many problems. But there's better shots to be had here, so let's see how we do with that. It's a lot colder than I thought it'd be. It's quite a bit of wind, so it's freezing my fingers. I dressed appropriately and found that the zip is broken on my jacket, so I can only do it halfway up. That's annoying. And I didn't bring my gloves either. Great. So to get the next shot, I'm going to have to go down the bottom. And I just want to bring up safety. It's really slippy, these rocks. And I learned that much to my own harm. I slipped on one rock and banged my shin into another. I didn't even realise till I got home. But the injury I sustained from that was with me for weeks. And I've still got quite nasty marks where it gouged flesh out my leg. Be really, really careful. And if you're going down, try not to take your gear with you. My gear is right there, safely on the side. It's not going to go anywhere. And I'm going to go down the bottom. So all I've got to do is manhandle myself down there, and then I can just collect the gear and start shooting. Okay, I got down nice and safe, and my hands are freezing. So just another point, because I forgot my gloves. But one thing I did get last year is some of these The Heat pocket warmers, and these are great. They go into the gloves I've got, but you don't buy these individually. Buy them by the box, and I'll pop a link. I've got an Amazon affiliate, so why not? But buy them by the box. I've got tons of these at home, and I never forget to bring these out because they're always in my backpack. So yeah, hand warmers essential for when you've got days like this, and you can just put your hands in your pockets for a minute, and you can get back to your camera work. Great stuff. Okay, first composition down here. You'll have seen this. Every time someone comes to Three Shires Head with a composition in mind, this is what they're going to take a photograph of. You're going to get down here and get that beautiful angled shot. It's gorgeous. And why shouldn't you? Just because the world and his dog is taking this picture doesn't mean you shouldn't. And no picture is the same. That water is not the same in any given photograph. You know, every single droplet makes a difference. So come down here and get your own shot, get your own mood. It's going to be wonderful. That said, now what I'm going to do is do a few angles, but let's talk about this one for a start. Got great foreground there. We got the rocks here acting as a sort of guide into the image. These, your borders here, both sides balanced nicely. And then of course we go up the falls, gorgeous, and into that background. And again, it's this, for me, this is what's doing the work, and this is that backdrop, that interesting backdrop. The business is there, and that's where I focused. I've put it on a 2-second exposure for now, but I'm gonna rack that up and down. I am using an ND filter with this kind of light. You've got to. I don't have a polarizer, but there's not that much gleam on the water, so it isn't too bad. Although I'd like the saturation, to be honest, but I just don't have one for the lens I've got. So there we go. That's composition number 1 coming up, and I'll show you how that looks now. I've had to take a break. My hands are so cold that I can't actually feel the buttons. So I've got my heaters, and I'm just going to give them probably 5 minutes. I think I'm really going to have to warm them up. So it's a good indication that I shouldn't forget my gloves in future. Winter's coming. You know, there's frost on the ground. There's a little bit of ice in some of the still parts of the river. I should know better, really. I'm going to finish the morning with some shots of the smaller waterfall, itself presents some compositional challenges. Let's see what we can do with that one. Now, I did a lot of walking around on this one, and I decided that I was going to get the waterfall in full frame, you know, really make that the center of attention, but I had to find something that made it worth shooting beyond just the regular snap. Don't get me wrong, I'd take the picture anyway, but I just wanted to find something that made it worth focusing on. And what I saw was the leaves on the bank. I kind of like them, that lead down to it, and there's a few leaves on the rocks as well, so it's pretty straightforward. There's no surprises here. There you go, just getting close there. But this is really, when I get it into Lightroom, I'm going to make sure that these are seen. I'm definitely going to emphasize those leaves and let the waterfall, which does command the view in this particular instance, it's not being used as a backdrop. It is the main feature, but I want to just make sure that those leaves are a part of it. Half a second on this exposure. I want to keep those lines, but I may do a 1 second exposure as well and photo stack it. I hate stacking, but sometimes you just got to do it. I hope you enjoyed that. You really can't go wrong with a waterfall shot. Everyone loves them. Great for Instagram, great for your Facebook page. And if you really do a good one, get it printed out and stick it on the wall. I don't have a lot of sort of advice to give on it, because I think just doing the water shots, it's pretty easy. Long exposure, click, done. And it's the framing that makes the difference. It's finding either the right angle or what surrounds the waterfall to add interest, because that cascade of water is going to be interesting no matter what. But it's down to you to really add something special to it, make it sort of stand out from the crowd. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. If you do, please do like and subscribe. It makes a difference, and can't wait to show you the next one.